I don't know a better business card than having your own book. When I came out with my first book years ago, I changed how I started introducing myself. I changed from when people ask me, what do I do? Of course, I would tell them, and in the networking session tomorrow morning, we're going to give you all kinds of ways to introduce yourself. One of which is, well, I show my investors how to make insane high rates of return. That's one way to answer it. Another way that I started answering that question in a networking event, or what do you do? I'd say, well, I'm a published author on the subject of real estate investing. And then I shut up. And if they're interested, they'll ask me more, right? So I've asked Chaffee to share with you in this session a service that we provide that has unbelievably made a big difference in people attracting private money. I'll tell you a quick story before Chaffee starts, and that is shortly after I got my first book published, I had a potential private lender that I met, came to my office, we sat down and visited, and at the end of that visit, I just met him a week before. At the end of that visit, he became my next $650,000 private lender. Before he left, and we only visited for 90 minutes, before he left, I asked him, I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, what was it that really caused you to move forward with being one of our new private lenders? And he says, well, the rate was attractive, the return was attractive. He said, but what sealed the deal was when you handed me your book that you've been published on real estate investing. So the credibility goes out the ceiling. Chaffee get into this. And so Chaffee, if you're ready, I'm going to turn it over to you. Y'all, let's give Chaffee a great big clap right now.
Am I good?
Not yet.
Hello, testing. Am I on?
Go.
Oh, there I am.
Okay.
Wonderful. Awesome. I am excited to present this to you guys as well. This is actually the first time we're presenting this to everybody, and it's a passion project that I've been working with Jay on for years now. So let's dive right into it. And I love this Success Leaves Clues. Who has heard that before? Success Leaves Clues? And so let me ask you a question, which is, what do these people have in common? So let me throw those names up there. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Carrie Fisher, Mike Tyson, Prince Harry, Britney Spears, Arnold Schwarzenegger. What do these people have in common? Does anybody know? They all wrote a book. Jay kind of gave it away with a presentation, right? That's right, they all wrote a book. Does everybody know that all these people had books? Here's a question for you. Who here thinks that they wrote the book themselves? Raise your hand up high. I see all the hands in the room going up, right? That's right, they probably didn't write it. Only, if you want to be successful, then do what successful people do. Who's heard of this guy, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, right? No? Mel Robbins. How about this guy at the end here, Mr. Jay Connor? Anybody heard of him, right? So, are you next? Who here is wants to be the next author of their own book? Yeah. Good, we got a few of you. So let's talk about this. Why should you have a book? Why should you have a book? Throw out some answers. Why should you have a book? Communicate. Awesome. What else? Credibility. Good. What about over here? Why should you have a book? Ego. Oh, that's a good one. I haven't heard that one yet. Well, that's a good one. Anyone else?
Provide value.
Provide value. Good. Here's some reasons. How about tell your story? Build your brand, personal pride or ego. Leave a legacy. Who wants to leave a legacy? Good. Confidence builder, conversation starter. How about generate publicity, attract clients, differentiate yourself? Who thinks having your own book at a networking event would differentiate yourself? Yeah. Establish expertise and credibility. When you see somebody with a book, what do you automatically think? They know their stuff. right? They wrote the book on it. Message duplication and automatic marketing. I love that one, because what does a book do for you? It duplicates your message when? When anybody reads it. Whether it's 3 a.m. in the morning or 12 o'clock at noon, or doesn't really matter. It's going to duplicate your message for you when somebody has your book and they read it, right? We call that automatic marketing. Okay, so why should you not write a book? For most people. Not everyone, but most people. Why shouldn't you write a book? You don't know what you're talking about, right? Good. What else? Who else? What? I heard something over there. Not sincere? Right? What are some more reasons why you shouldn't write a book? Oh, it's so hard. Am I making you think after lunch? What's that? Can't handle the fame. I don't know if that's it. Let's go through some of the reasons. How about to sell 1 million books? To make lots of money, because most authors, we call them starving authors, right? They don't make a lot of money. How about to make money, period? How about because you have too much time on your hands? Who has too much time on their hands and wants to write a book? Raise your hand up high. No? No one? Get a movie deal? Who wants a movie deal? Right, to live the writer's life or write for yourself? But here's the formula. So I want you to write this formula down, though. The formula is a normal business owner plus writing a book equals an industry expert, a thought leader, a local celebrity, or social influencer. Who knows this to be true? Right? When you have a book, people look at that and go, oh, they must know what they're talking about. They must be an industry expert. They're probably a thought leader because they put all these thoughts into this book, right? And you become a local celebrity. You can get on podcasts, you can get in newspapers, you can get in the local media, you can get on TV, right? And you can become a social influencer. And so that's why Jay and I worked on this, put this together. But if this is true, all these, then why don't people write books? Why don't more people write books? What's that? Yes?
Okay, well, I'm not this as an actual situation. I
Oh.
work with a company called Authority. I came across them for marketing purposes.
Uh-huh.
And they're like instant publishing company. So I paid $7 bucks and I have a book now. And I don't.
Awesome.
But I've only done one deal. I'm not an expert, but so like
Yeah.
I feel like lying. So I'm like, I don't want to give my book out, but it's a good way to get marketing going on.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Right, so I was like, I don't feel credible. I'm looking credible. I researched it enough to get this far.
Don't feel credible. That's a reason why. Absolutely. Anybody else? Why don't more people write this book? Books or a book?
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Absolutely. It's a lot of work. Could add up. How about this? Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. Somebody reads your book and they don't like it. What if no one reads it? What if they read it? Right? What if they hate it? What if I'm actually not a good writer? Right? These are some things that people might think about. And then here's some more practical reasons. It costs too much. I have no idea how to get published. It takes too long. It's too overwhelming. Right? Too much work, writer's block, no inspiration, not interesting. No one wants to read my story. Has anybody ever thought about writing a book and thought about some of these reasons? Yeah, a handful of you? It's all right. How about writing a book without writing? Who thinks that would be pretty cool? Yeah? A few of you? Okay. So here's a book, Lend and Grow Rich. By the way, who knows I like that book, that other book? What's that other book called that I like? Think and Grow Rich. So where do you think I got that from? Lend and Grow Rich by Chaffee-Thanh, right? What about having your name there and it's branded by you as the author? And you don't even have to write it. Who thinks that would be cool to have your own real estate private lending book? Yeah. So how does this happen? How do we make this happen? What's that magic? I know you've been through it before. Only for everyone else, what we do is we interview you and we record the interview. And we provide the questions ahead of time so you can think about it, answer the questions, get your interview, then we outsource it to transcribe it and edit that interview. Okay? And then from there, we compile, develop, write, edit, and format the book for you. You choose your book title, right? You get to choose your own book title. We'll create a custom cover for you, and we publish the book for you. Wow, what'd you do again? Jumped on that interview with me, right? We published the book on Amazon. You have your own Amazon listing. And this was really cool. We actually had a mastermind student who had their own book published on Amazon. I actually have his book up here. Somebody went on Amazon, found his book, which is called You Can Be the Bank. And he, where does Todd live again, Jay?
Clayton, North Carolina.
Clayton, North Carolina. The gentleman from California found his book online, called him up, and he's like, who's this person calling me from California? Well, the guy bought his book, read his book, and then became a private lender for him, all because he found him on Amazon. Right? Amazon does the marketing for you to millions of people. It's a beautiful thing. And so, you'll get that Amazon listing. Oh, by the way, this guy here, Mr. Jay Connor, the Private Money Authority, will personalize a forward for you, adding more credibility for you, adding to that partnership, working with Jay for you, right? Who thinks that's pretty cool that Jay does that? Yeah. And so what do we need from you? We need your story from the interview. I need some pictures, your headshot, your company logo. You get to choose a pre-designed logo or a book cover, the details of your program. Now, right now we have Jay's program that Jay teaches you in the book, and we have some students that tweak their program slightly because of where they're at, or if they've been doing real estate for a while. We do have some students, instead of doing 2 years and 5 years for loans, they do 10 years or 20 years, right? And so whatever your program details are, we'll tweak it for you. If you have testimonials, we'll add testimonials in there, okay? And then your dedication, your acknowledgement, who you want to dedicate the book to, and who do you want to acknowledge that has helped you get to where you want to have gotten so far. That's all part of that. And obviously, our goal is to use this as a marketing tool to drive people to you or your website, right? And so we want your website link in there. So all these are optional and highly recommended, except for your story and some pictures. That we're definitely going to need those. Okay. Sound pretty simple so far, by the way? Yes? Okay. So here are some sample covers, sample book covers. How to earn high rates of return safely and securely, generating passive income in today's volatile market. Do what banks do and earn high rates of return safely and securely like they do. The magic of private lending. Do all these look like different books, by the way? Yeah, they do, don't they? Passive income without tenants and toilets, low risk, high returns, let your money work for you, and you can be the bank. Oh, that's your one. Oh, awesome. We'll just leave them up here now. Wonderful. All right, so here's the process. For you, sit back and relax. Right? We do our best to make it as easy as possible for you. But wait, there's more, right? Here's the thing, is that you can have these books, right? You can have a whole stack of books, and they don't do anything for you if they're sitting around doing nothing, right? You can keep them in your garage, collecting dust, and what does that do for you? How does that benefit you? And so when I was working with Jay to put this together, Jay's like, how do we help and enable the students who do this book use it in terms of marketing to help grow their business? Right? And so we give you an electronic PDF version of your book, and you can share that with other people. We do recommend, instead of just sharing the entire book with somebody, share the first 2 or 3 chapters with them. And then have a link to the Amazon page where they can actually purchase the entire book. Because then it gets them committed, right? Gets them to take some action. You also get published on Kindle. So Amazon will give you a Kindle version of that as well. So we convert the book from soft cover to Kindle version. So now they can purchase either the Kindle version, read on their Kindle, or they can order a soft copy, or both. We'll do unlimited edits as long as you're part of the program. Part of the Mastermind program or Platinum Plus program. And then we follow this thing called a funnel. Who has heard of AIDA before? AIDA? Anyone? AIDA? Okay, we see some people up here, good. AIDA is a common marketing term that's been around for decades in the corporate world. A lot of marketing companies follow this strategy. And what it is it stands for awareness. How do you create awareness for you and your product or your system? That awareness, once they are aware of your brand or your company, then how do you generate interest for it? Right? And if they're interested in it, then how do they take the next step into making a decision, and that decision will then lead to an action, right? So AIDA. So here is an example funnel that you could use for your book, which is give somebody your book or sell them your book, or they find your book. That book will lead them to your website. Your website will have a downloadable free report for them. And when they opt in to get that free report, they'll get a series of autoresponder email messages. And those email messages will drive them to call you and make a decision to become your private lender. Do you guys see how that flows in terms of funnel? But if you do this, then you're giving away a lot of books. Okay, 1 second here. If you do this, you're giving away a lot of books. So here's another option, is that you can post on social media or a website, or people can go to your website and get the free report. The free report will again get them to the autoresponder messages. The autoresponder messages will drive them to your Amazon link where they can purchase your book. Now they're a little bit more committed. And then the book will actually have your contact information where they can actually become a new private lender. So we could switch things around a little bit, right? Yes? Right. Absolutely. So you can add, so one of our students, one of the latest books, actually in the About the Author page has a QR link to his website. So.
What was the question, Chaffee?
The addition was that you could also use a QR link for marketing purposes and have the QR link point to your book. Similar to the way we use the 16-minute audio and have the QR link point to the audio. So by the way, people are like, I don't have a website. Well, guess what? We will give you a full one-page HTML simple website for you. Okay, and the website will promote your book. And this website is, if you go to lendandgrowrich.com, you'll actually see that book being promoted. Okay? How funny, Lend and Grow Rich book title and lendandgrowrich.com for a website. Who thinks that's nice and easy? Yeah. Now you're like, I already got a real estate website. I don't want another one. Well, we can take care of that too. Here's an example real estate website, leveluppropertygroup.com/Lend and Grow Rich, or book, or whatever it is that you want. It could be a subdirectory as well. It's just a simple HTML one-page website that's responsive, so it does resize. In the top right-hand corner, there's this little thing called Free Report. They click on that free report, it'll take them to a little opt-in page or an opt-in section where they can enter their name and email, hit enter, and guess what? We give you a pre-written branded report that you can give away to people as well. So here's your IRA report, how to use your self-directed IRA to unlock unlimited tax-free or tax-deferred earnings safely and securely. It's all branded for you. Oh, by the way, this report, here's the table of contents of the report, power of private lending, a little bit about IRAs, are you ready to start earning? Okay, so it's all pre-written for you. And this guy, does anybody know who this guy is? Does everybody recognize this guy? He is probably the largest internet marketer in the world. His name is Frank Kern. Anybody heard of Frank Kern? Yeah. Frank Kern says, email has made me and my clients more than anything else in the 22 years I've been in business selling things online. His annual revenues online are over $15 million a year. So I think he knows a thing or two about online marketing. Right? That's why we use emails and autoresponders. Okay? And so we've pre-written the autoresponder messages for you. So you get a series of autoresponder messages. That all comes as part of the system. And I and my team are constantly adding to these as well. And then you get these social media mock-ups that you can use for marketing purposes. So you can share this. We have people sharing this on Facebook, on X, on LinkedIn. All right, Lend and Grow Rich. Who thinks these are pretty fun, right? How about this one? Is that pretty fun? Who wants Spider-Man reading your book? Of course, have to have billboards in the city as well. Times Square, anybody want to be in Times Square? All right, free advertising, right? All right, but wait, are you guys done yet? There's still more. Jay wanted to provide as much value as possible. So he said, hey, if you have your face on the book, it's going to be a lot more impactful. And I said, Jay, if we're wanting to keep our expenses down to provide for the students, then that's going to add extra fees. And he's like, I don't care. Let's make it happen somehow. So who thinks that the cover on the right stands out a little bit more than the cover on the left? Anyone? Yeah. And so what we had to do, or what I had to do, what Jay told me to do, was go back. And when we offered the book, these are actual books of the mastermind students that have purchased the book. Lend and Grow Rich. Low risk, high returns. There's Erica and Erica, if anybody knows them. Right? A few of you know them. Private lending done right. This is Stu and Harriet that Jay has mentioned many times, that came with us with over 100 properties. Stu is funny. He talks about how he brings his book to the BNI networking event, and people come up to him and say, oh, is that your book? So he doesn't have to approach people. He doesn't have to ask any questions. They come up to him and start talking to him. Lend Smart and Grow Rich by Ben Mayo. There's that You Can Be the Bank, Earn More, Worry Less. Who think those books look pretty cool? What's different in these books, by the way, besides the picture and the covers? Anybody know? What's different? Yeah, other than the cover. Anything that's different? Does anybody know? There's something different. Remember that interview that we had of you? Your story is different. So what's in these books? Actually, oh, by the way, we created a book for Crystal. Pick up in aisle 9. I forgot to take this down, Crystal. I'm sorry. Crystal has this little story. Crystal's Guide to Dating to Attract All Men You Want While Shopping for Groceries. She, it happens to her frequently when she's shopping. She gets these men coming up to her. I was going to talk about what's inside the book, but this popped up. And we do have a book for Jay, How to Speak Asian, by Jay, Using the Power of Immersion for Accelerated Learning. And you also get a hard copy. So this is brand new. We're also offering you 10 hard copy covers of your book. It's pretty cool to have a soft cover. Only those hard covers are things that you want to give out as gifts to close family members or friends that will use it. Let me, real quick, in this book here, the first chapter of the book, and I'll have these books in the back that you can look at it. Here's the book. First chapter of the book, if you look in the table of contents, does anybody know what the first chapter is? Take a wild guess. Mindset, no. Good guess though. First chapter of the book is actually the 16-minute audio that Jay has. 16-minute audio. The second chapter is the story, your personal story that we did the interview with and rewrote. Okay? Every other chapter after that is Jay's PowerPoint presentation for private money lending. And so what are we doing here? If you think about what we're doing is that IBM did a study years and years ago, a marketing study, that it says in order to make a sale, they have to show a message multiple times. Does anybody know how many times they have to show a message before somebody buys? 7, right? Yeah, 7 times. And so when we were putting this together, I was talking to Jay, and said, Jay, how do we reiterate your marketing message, your message for the students, so that the people that they're talking to will get your marketing message over and over again? And so this book has the 16-minute audio in it, which is, after step 1, network, where are you going to network? Step 2, casual conversation. Step 3, share the audio with them. That's the same audio, right? Step 4 is have the one-on-one presentation or a presentation with them. That's what this book is. And so if they see your webinar, they hear your audio, they see your webinar, they come to a luncheon, they see the presentation, they get a copy of the book, it's all the same message, reiterating the power of private lending and why they should work with you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Who thinks that's pretty cool that we tied that all together? Yeah. And then you also get social media mock-ups again. I did the math. You'll love my new book. Private Money Lend and Grow Rich. There's just some examples. I love this one. Private money lending is huge. It's huge. Huge. Right? Spider-Man again. And just remember, the purpose of this book, your book, for this program is branding, getting the word out, piquing interest, educating people, and getting attention. What is not the purpose of this book? It's to sell a bunch of books for money. Right. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean, by the way, should you give the book away all the time? Yes or no? I hear no, I hear yes. Should you give it away? Yes? No? Here's the answer. Sometimes. Is that like a typical attorney? Do we have any attorneys in here before I make fun of them? Is that? Oh, that's right, Bob. Is that a normal answer? It depends. There you go. I should change that. It depends, right? So when should you give it away? When should you not? What happens when you give something away sometimes? It doesn't have as much perceived value, or they don't appreciate it as much, right? You get what you paid for. And I promise you, the content in there that Jay shares through his presentation and the book, there's a ton of value in it. That book is worth a lot, okay? And so here's an example of how you can use the book. In a business card raffle, you can use a giveaway. Here's a way for you to collect potential business owners or people at an event, right? Give me your contact information and I will give you my book. I'll pull out a raffle and give you somebody my book, right? You can go to fairs and festivals and events. Oh my. Right? Here is somebody I worked with, and he did a book launch. Right? He invited all his friends, all his family members, all his coworkers, and he did a big launch, took a bunch of pictures, he invited the media to come, and this is actually his, he's a real estate agent, it was actually at his real estate office that he did this. Right? Get on podcasts. Podcasters love book authors. Our next guest just wrote the book, right? Lend and Grow Rich. Find niche podcasts, you can find them on Google. You can get matched with podcasters, okay? Reach out to local events on Meetup, on Facebook, community outreach sites, newspapers, and get speaking gigs. Many, many different ways of using this book. And so is your book next. And with that, I think we have a flyer. Can we get that passed out? Yeah. In the back? So what's in this Done For You package? You get your very own personalized, customized, white label private lending book, 50 books, initial books. And if you need to reorder, you don't have to order 1,000 books at a time. I know, Jay, when you wrote your book, your minimum order amount was 1,000 books, right? Yeah. Let's see, book marketing. So you get an actual marketing plan of action. So I put together an entire marketing strategy plan with different marketing strategies that you can use for your book. Personalized website and capture page. Personalized, customized free reports series. So we've talked about all these. And my pricing is up here a little bit different than the flyer for some reason. But that's okay. So when we did the research, I know when I did the research for this, to have your own book was really expensive. It was anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000 to $100,000. I think you got a deal on yours. I don't know who you went through. Glorified? Oh, they want. So they're using theirs as a loss leader, yeah. I know, Jay, when you were looking to get your book published, it was anywhere between what?
40 to 100.
40 to 100,000, right?
For a done-for-you book.
For a done-for-you book. And a lot of those...
Without any of this support.
Right, so this is just the done-for-you book part. Some of the companies that are done for you are funny because it's actually not done for you. They still require you to write the book, but they'll do everything else, right? They'll do the editing, the publishing, the cover, all that kind of stuff. So I just took the 30,000 on the very low end as an example, right? All this stuff, the actual cost of the books, the marketing plan, personalized website, all this costs, if you go out and develop this yourself, this is an example. And Jay said, hey, I wanted a tool for our students to be able to use to help them grow their business and raise more private money. We're going to put this together. So it's not just the book that you're getting the entire marketing system. And our goal is that you don't do any writing other than possibly the dedication and the acknowledgement. And then we interview you and we do the rest for you. Okay? In addition to that, the goal for this book is once you start the process, the goal is to get your book done within 90 days or less. Okay, some of these book publishing places I know take 6 months to a year. Our turnaround time is really quick because of the systems we put in place for that. Right? And so, does everybody have that sheet, by the way?
Yes.
Yes. So if you want to take advantage of this and you're not in any of the mentorship programs, it is going to be $24,995, $495, right? Obviously, Jay wants to give better discounts for those that are involved, and so if you're in the Platinum Plus program, it's $17,495. And then if you're Mastermind, Jay's cut down all the way to pretty much his expenses, which is $12,495. Okay. And so with this, we'll do everything for you. You'll have your own published book. I'm working right now with Wally and Judy, and our goal is to get their book. We just got started. Our hope is to get their book done by Christmas so that they can hand this out during Christmas to their friends and family, right? And so it's just a really cool thing, and a marketing tool, as you can see, it's a pretty meaty book, okay? Are there any questions? Do you have any questions? So just the creation of the story from the interview, we have to obviously compile a story that flows well and is engaging, and then there's a review process back and forth, and then the whole editing process takes a little bit of time as well, right? And then obviously we have to create a custom cover. And so that whole process, like I said, typically if you're working with a company, it'll take six months to a year. I don't know how long it took you. It might have been quick how they do it. And yeah, so AI, something's wrong with my mic. Sherwood, thank you. We've played around with AI and some of this stuff, and the writing is not human-ish, right? So that's the big challenge. So everything here is human done, human edited, human reviewed, everything. So, yes? So how do you get an ISBN number for publishing, or is it required? And the answer is that we use Amazon Publishing, and Amazon will assign you an Amazon ASIN number. So if you want this published in Barnes and Nobles and those other channels, that's a whole different process, and you actually have to buy your own ISBN number. But we just, because we use Amazon and everything's with them, they actually provide it for us at their cost. So, okay. Yes, sir.
I would say that's a complete steal. I'm totally neutral, by the way.
Oh, hang on, yeah. Totally.
That's a complete steal. I just wrote a book. This is me writing the book. Okay, this is a real book. Me writing the book. Watermelons.ai. By the way, I'm truly number one Amazon bestseller. Anyway, just had to throw that in. But what I would say is, it cost me, I don't even know, I'm sure it's well over $100,000 to publish this book. And from it, I just got a text yesterday. I got a $200,000 deal from the government based on this book. That is a complete deal. I'll tell you.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is if you never looked into publishing a book, sometimes you don't realize all the expenses and everything that goes into it. And this is a steal. I mean, this is really, if you're part of the mastermind program for that $12,495, that is Jay's cost. He's not making a buck on that.
I was getting ready to say that, yeah, sure, what's got me. I was getting ready to say, if you are in mastermind, Chaffee and I are not making 1 penny on that $12,495. That is not an upsell. That's our hard cost of delivering all these deliverables. Platinum Plus, you can still take advantage of it. It's still a steal at $14,495. Standalone, if you're not in our coaching packages, you can still have it for $24,495. But Mastermind, you're getting that at half price at our cost, right? So this is a value add. I mean, when I experienced myself the power of a book, and Kenner just told you his experience as well, I said, we've got to offer this credibility value to our members in our community. And of course, Randall can wrap that right in and finance all that in for you. You don't need to write a check for that. Easily financeable and roll right into the Mastermind and Platinum Plus packages.
Awesome. Any other questions? Yes?
How long does it take to finish How long does it take to finish from starting to the end? So you see the book.
So again, our goal from start to end is 90 days or less, and most of that 90 days, by the way, is mostly review time by the student, going back and forth, just reviewing, making sure that that's exactly what they want. I have a whole team working on everything, and we've turned around and gotten it out within usually 30, 45 days before. So. Any other questions? I'll have these books in the back if anybody's interested. Obviously, sign up and talk with Kelly and I. We'll go through everything for you. So if you want to look at the differences between the two books or the similarities, absolutely.
Where are you going to have the book?
Just right in the back table.
Okay, on the back table.
I was just wondering, what is that book sold for on Amazon?
It's listed for $19.95, $20. Right. And we can change the price for you if you want to list it more or less. But $20 it seems is about average for these types of books this size. Okay. Awesome.
All right, let's give Chaffee a clap.